Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Thanks for joining me on a Friday night. Not the normal Saturday. Hey, Bob, how are you? You're the first one in. Glad to see you. Can you hear me okay? Trying out the new mic system again today that we premiered last week. Hey, John, how are you? Paul, how are you? Steve, how are you? Awesome. I can hear me. Good. Thank you very much. Thanks for the mic check. Appreciate it. All right, so we're on a Friday night tonight. Sorry about that, guys. It's not the usual Saturday night, but a lot of family celebrations going on this next month. So, it's just a bunch of things. This tomorrow, I have my two of my favorite niece and nephew. They're twins, fraternal twins, are celebrating their 21st birthday tomorrow. So we're going to be out celebrating with them, maybe till midnight. So when it turns midnight, they can have their first drink. So we're going to be whooping it up with the two of them. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're really good kids. Love them so much. And then we have our redo of my littlest granddaughter's first birthday party. We got snowed out on the 25th because of that major blizzard that we had in the Northeast. So they'll be doing that on Sunday. And then watching, hopefully, the Super Bowl Sunday night. And then we have Chinese New Year's coming up this month, too. We're going to be out celebrating that because I don't know if you guys know, my wife is originally from Hong Kong. So that's a big deal. That's next to Christmas is the next biggest holiday that we celebrate in this house. So February is a busy month. So, but I appreciate you guys, switching nights with me and doing a Friday night instead of a Saturday night. Really appreciate it. Chris, how you doing? Willow Creek, how you doing? Let's see. James, how are you, James? Good to see you. Who else we got here? I think I mentioned everybody. Paul, we need a little bit of that Australian summer sent here to the East Coast of the United States because we're going back into another deep freeze again. It's going to be, I think Sunday's only going to be 18 degrees Fahrenheit here, and overnight it's going to be 0. So it's going to be crazy. So I'm done with winter. I need summer. I need spring. I need something. I need some warm weather. It's just getting to be a little too much. So another hot day. Yeah, I'll take the hot day over the cold day any day. Mid-90s, I'll take that. I'd rather have warm than cold. I'm just not a cold weather person, but I can't do much about it right now. So we have to grin and bear it. So let's see. Yeah, I was thinking about you. It's not Illinois Midland, but it's kind of close, Illinois Central. So I got a thing for Illinois Central orange cars. So I like that. I got a thing for a lot of things, right? Penn Central, cement hoppers, orange Illinois Central Golf cars. My likes and interests are all over the map. So let's see, John Gavin. It's going to be minus 29 Celsius Saturday night with wind chill. Yeah, that's cold, dude. I know that's probably like still below 0 for us too. Yeah, you're up in Canada. So yeah, you've had your Chris, you've had your couple of weeks of winter, and you're gonna go back to warm weather again. I know down South Carolina there. So yeah, just when you get the warm weather, send some up my way, please. I just can't take this cold no more. So it's very depressing. So the Illinois cars, yes, Steve. Yep. All right. So let's get started. So as the thumbnail showed you, we're going to be doing an Illinois Central Golf car. I built this car a little while back. It's an old, it's one of the Athearn kits, not quite a blue box because, in the sense of the old blue boxes, because this had separate details you had to add, It was actually a special run by Robbins Rails. And they ran this run of Illinois Central cars. I put this together. Some of you are on the Tuesday night calls of Around the Layout podcast, and the few people that are on with me on Sunday nights on our little group thing on Zoom. I was building this for a couple of nights. It was a nice kit, goes together. Although I broke a couple of the grab irons and I had to replace them with metal grab irons. They were plastic ones, so that's all right. It's not a big deal. I really like the car. It kind of was in one of my bugs that I wanted, an orange Illinois Central car, and I've been putting off weathering this, but tonight's the night because we can't see another green car for a while. I've been doing a lot of green cars, so let's go with the orange car for tonight. It says it'll be my first time doing an orange car, so we're going to try out some of the methods that we've used for fading and grinding up the car, and then we'll see how it works out. It'll be a surprise for you and a surprise for me when it comes out good. So anyway, let's get started. It is a weekend night, even though it's not Saturday night. So we do have to have some beer. And again, we're going to be going with our non-alcoholic beer. Oh, Ray's on. Hey, Ray. How's it going? Good to see you, buddy. I was listening to the Springfield recap today while I was out driving. So that was fun to listen to, and everybody that you interviewed. So, all right, so we have our beer tonight. It's going to be back to some Athletic Brewing Company. Free Wave Hazy IPA. They make a pretty good IPA. They got two different IPAs. They got the Free Wave, and I forget what the other one is. This one is hazy because it's unfiltered. So you can see it's unfiltered here. So cheers, everybody. Happy Friday night. That hits the spot. Okay. Let's make a little room on the bench here. All right, let's see. So, Paul, you did your work, huh? Hi, I like that. Aren't you glad you get to watch Ted weather in our car tonight? Thank you. Thank you. That's why you're my friend, Ray, with the puns there. All right, so let's get started. So let's figure out, we'll do a slight fade on this tonight, and of course, we're going to bring out the color wheel and see what orange is closest to the color of this boxcar here. So it's kind of in between an orange and a red orange. And I would say it's a little closer to the red orange. If you can go over to here, and if we look at the yellow and adding the red, see we kind of get this kind of closer to this orange there. So, all right, so we're going to go for our colors for fading. Let's go with the orange and the red orange. We'll go off the red orange. So for the red orange, we're looking at a blue-green. All right, which means we're going to break out some blue, some green, maybe a little bit of yellow tonight, and the white. All right, because again, blue and yellow make green, and we have the blue-green for the orange-red. We're not going to put any red on there though, because this is kind of almost an orange-red. So, all right, so orange-red, blue-green's the opposite. We had a couple little bits of blue and yellow and some white. And we'll see how this works out. All right, so let's get our colors out first here. We'll get out the blue. Let's get out the yellow. We're going to go very light with the blue and the yellow. We're probably going to go a lot less dark, a lot less dots. And I'm also thinking about maybe a darker green tonight. This is dark green. And I'm almost wondering if I go with the dark green, if I'm going to need the blue and the yellow, but I might still do that. All right, as opposed to the light green that we've been using. This is an olive green. I think I'm going to stick with the light green. I'm going to check it out on that. And that dark green for this time around. And where's my white? Here's the white right here. So we're going to go with these four colors tonight. So, okay. Ray is a slave driver. I know. And he doesn't give you any raises, Paul. It's not good, buddy, there. All right, so shake these up. Hope everybody had a good week. I had an interesting week this week. It was a lot of fun. Had to do a little bit of car repair, but nothing too major, so it wasn't a lot of money. Got to watch my little granddaughter again this week, she's a load of fun. And I did a little bit of modeling. I was experimenting with a black hopper car, trying to find a different way to lighten it up and fade it a little bit before I would do any weathering on it. And wasn't crazy about the method I tried, so I'm not going to share that. I got to work on it a little bit more. All right, so predominantly what we're going to do is we're going to go across the car with some green. So we'll start with the green. Random all over the car, on the door. Let's redip it. Everybody needs a rehash of the color wheel. I'll put a short out this week of a re-explanation of the color wheel. I know we seem to get that question every live feed, because we always get somebody new in and they ask the question. So it's always good to rehash it. And I did that as a standalone, so it's you can go back and look at that if you need to. But I think everybody who's on here tonight are regulars, so I'm going to put a little bit of blue, not a lot, maybe 6 dots across the whole car. Same thing with the yellow. I'm going to put the blue and the yellow close together so they kind of mix in. There we go. Then we're going to get our white. And we want to lighten the car up, so once again, the alternate colors are going to be what's going to dull out that orange, and the white's what's going to bring the fade up for us. Okay. Let's start brushing this in and see what happens. And again, we're trying to blend this whole thing in, so we're not worried about up and down, side to side. We're going to go whatever direction we got to go in to get this to blend together. As you can see, this door moves, so it's a door that opens and closes. Might have to add a little more to the door, I'm not sure, but let's see. Let's move over to here. Get in the ladder here too. This is the hardest part to get into. Some of these details you got to get around, like the ladder and the grab irons, especially when they're delicate. It's hard to get in there. I'm just kind of pressing the brush in there hard and just wiggling it. I'm not putting a lot of pressure up and down on it, just to get in those crevices there. Let's go back and forth here. All right, so wipe the brush off, change the brush to another brush. see, we'll go with this guy right here. So the cleaner brush, it's got a little less paint on it, and it's going to help blend that together. Okay, that doled it out nice. It's dulled and faded out the paint a little bit. Take a look up close, and I knocked off I knocked off one of the last plastic grab iron. All right, so I'm going to have to go to and replace it with a metal one like this one, but it's not a big deal. Relatively easy to do. There are no more original plastic grab irons on here. I think if I ever get one of these kits again, I'm going to just automatically switch it over to the wire grabs and then just paint them, so not a big deal. They're very flimsy, very flimsy. And as you can see, this is kind of a rough way to handle the car when you're doing this with the brush, so that's all right. And we'll just follow up a little bit of the sponge just to kind of blend it together a little bit. Let's take a look. All right, so other side of the car is shiny. Over here we dulled it out and faded it up. Pretty nice. All right, so I think we guessed good on our color combination. And let's go to the next side. Let's do the same thing over here. Let me have a drink of beer real quick, guys. So, yeah, Chris, it just hit my mind. Just thinking about it, I forgot to bring gloves down with me. And I really don't want to walk away from the workbench because I have to go all the way upstairs to grab some gloves. So we're going sans gloves tonight. I will get my fingers dirty. And I'm going to have to wash my hands really good when I'm done. So cheers, everybody. All right. So same thing. We're going to go across the car with the green. So the majority of the car is going to be the green dots. Do maybe about 6 blue and 6 yellow. I'm almost wondering if I can get away with just doing the green and the white. Maybe I'll try that one day, but not tonight. And we're going a little bit more than 6 dots here, but follow up with the yellow. Again, like I said, I want to kind of put them kind of close together with the blue. Sometimes no rhyme or reason. I'm just going with the flow with what I'm thinking or feeling it should be. I got to get some green inside this ladder too here. A little bit of blue in there too. Then we'll go with the white next. Almost about due to put an order in with Spray Gunner. Some of my oil brushers are either starting to dry out around the cap, like this one is starting to fall apart on me. Although I think there's still some paint in there, still a bunch of paint in there, so it should be all right. But definitely got to get one or two new washes, and I might have to re-up on a pigment or two too. So, all right, so let's get our first brush here. We go in and just start smearing that around. Get along the bottom too. So, Chris, I know you're Illinois Midland, but I'm thinking such close proximity to Illinois Central Gulf. I'm looking on the bottom of the car, and these brick reservoirs and stuff like that. They got them orange. I'm thinking it's probably not orange, right, on the real car. What do you think, Chris? I need your Illinois expertise. I'm gonna probably paint them black or brown or something or whatever. Okay, see, we got a question. Hold on a second. I'm gonna clean this brush off. Grab this brush. Let's take a look at the question real quick. After the first go around with the multiple colors and that dries, can you do another fade with only white? You probably could. If you're not happy that it's not light enough, the thing I would do is probably go back with some white, just to lighten it up some more. Because you have your initial muting of the colors, because all those different colors are going to mute the color for you, all right? Kind of softens it. And then the white is what's going to bring it down to a lighter shade, all right? So technically, I would say, Bob, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was you, Bob. Technically, I would think that you should be able to go back and hit it with some white to lighten it up some more. And Chris, I don't think so. If they were orange, if they were orange, they didn't stay for long. You're right. I think it's probably safe to say I'll hit it with some black. If not tonight, another day. So again, we're just rubbing this in here. This is mixing it all up. Let's get some of this worked into the ladders here. Bob, I might go back and just try that to see what happens, to answer your question. We'll experiment a little bit. Let me just hit it with the sponge real quick. All right, let's take a look. All right, compared to the top, which is still the original orange. The other side. A few more wipes. So, Bob, we're going to go back and see what happens with your question. See what we got. Give it a couple shots of white across the car. See what happens. Yeah, it lightens it up a little bit. The only thing I worry about with just putting straight white on with nothing else, sometimes it gives it like a chalky film. I'm not seeing that right now, but I've had a few friends that have tried to just to fade a car with just white, and they weren't happy with the results because it just looked like a white film over the top of the car, not like faded paint. Let's go back with this brush here. Give it a wipe the sponge. Then you let me know if you think you see any difference here. Ooh, we lost another part. It's all right. It's going to get painted black anyway. So let me just get in here with the little sponge here. Okay. Let's get into the ladder with this pointed sponge. There you go. What do you think, Bob? I don't know, did it lighten it up a little bit more? Yeah. I want to clean this eye up on the IC logo. It's a little too dirty. Let's get a small brush. Get it a little thinner. That'll clean it right up. Just like anything else, if you're not happy with what's happening, especially when you're working with the oils or the enamels, get some of the odorless thinner, and you can wipe a lot of that stuff away. Put that back. Just get a clean sponge and just clean that off. And you can see our IC logo cleaned right up there. And it's just going to blend some of this in with the sponge a little bit more. Then we're going to move on to the ends and then the top. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the ends. Make sure we don't lose this little brake cylinder there. And then we'll go to the top. So same thing, we're going to go with our green, blue, yellow, green, couple dots of blue. Couple dots of yellow, and a bunch of white. You think more white for the roof, Chris? Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, lighten the roof up even more. And I would say probably obviously too, we would want to grime the roof up more, especially on lighter colors in this this orange. Would have got dirty real fast probably. And dig into that ladder there. And our larger brush. And because our ribs are vertical here, we're going to kind of have to go back and forth to clean some of that up, to blend it in. And again, digging into that ladder to get in there. You can see a nice little fade, and it's nice and worn on the inside there. So hit it with the sponge just a little bit, just to blend it a little bit. It's good. Let's go to the other side. You need more what? I need more chow bell, or did you mean chow or cowbell? All right. Get a couple of dots of blue and a couple of dots of yellow. Bunch of white. Another drink of beer. Cheers. Okay. Let's blend this in. Yeah, Chris needs some more chow bill. He does, he doesn't want to be cold late for dinner. He's the man of many names anyway. You can call him whatever you want, just don't call him late for dinner. A question for everybody. Is anybody going to the Valley Forge RPM in Malvern, Pennsylvania in March? March 19th through the 21st, I think it is. You never been called late for dinner? There you go. Yeah, it's the next RPM coming up. Held every other year in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Well, actually, in the Valley Forge region, town called Malvern, right next to Paoli. If you're a Pennsylvania Railroad fan, Paoli is a notable town on the Pennsylvania Railroad, also Reading. So we're just blending this in there. I am 90% sure I'm going to be there, but it is my wife's birthday weekend, and normally I take her with me, but she's not sure she wants to go. But when I'm there, I'll be doing this clinic hands-on. So Chris, if you come, you could bring some more Z-scale cars we can weather. All right. So a lot more details to work around in here. Got the brake wheel, the brake stand, where the brakeman would stand on. I'm just trying to be a little more delicate around here. But also still trying to get this worked in there. All right, let's hit it with the sponge. Let's get a wedge sponge. Okay. On to the roof, Chris. So Chris thinks we should go a little more white on the roof, so we will try that. Yeah, I haven't really looked at the clinic list, Bob. But that's almost in your backyard, right? But really haven't had a chance to look at it. And most of the time I wind up getting tied up with my clinic, although this is going to be in a small little room. If you've been there before, I can only fit maybe 10 to 11 people in there for a clinic. So, and it's only going to be twice on Saturday, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. And that's going to be it for the weekend. All right, let's get the blue. So we're going to go very light on the blue and the yellow. Maybe 5 on each side, maybe. All right, 6 on each side. All right, we'll put the yellow next to the blue. Okay. Not going to worry about the roof walk because we'll hit that with the residual, whatever's on the brush. And then we're going to go with what Chris suggested. What'd you say? More fumes. Oh, yeah. It's a small little room, and we're packed tightly in there together. And then you have this enamel, which isn't as bad as some of the lacquers and stuff like that, but you still get that smell. And one, I think was the first year I did this clinic, I didn't realize somebody closed the door while we're all in there. And then somebody opened the door and they went, "Whoa!" I guess once you're inside, you kind of accustomed to the smell. And they almost got knocked over. So we had to put a sign up, "Please do not shut the door." You would think that'd be self-evident, but sometimes people aren't smart. And we're going to work this in. Yeah, especially you got a lot of ribs in the top of this roof here, so you got to really work it in. Like I said, roof rock's going to get the residual. Turn the car around, work on this side. There's going to be another weathering clinic there at the Malvern RPM too. My friend Ralph DeBlasi is going to be giving a clinic on some of his weathering techniques. I don't think it's going to be in hands-on though. I think he's just going to show what he does and just demonstrate. He's given about 5 clinics at the RPM. Interesting guy. Pretty good friend of mine. And I worked this in here. Then we're going to switch to the other brush. All right, let's go to the wider brush. Try to work this in. They are they solid roof walks. They were separate roof walks. Had to insert them into the holes in the top. They are looks like they're supposed to represent metal grates roof walks. So I don't know if that answers the question or not. All right, Chris, we went with more white. What do you think? Did it help? Notice a little smudge there on the side here. Okay. Give it a quick glance with the sponge. What was that? Yeah, definitely after the second brush. You're right. Looks better. Okay, cool. All right. I think so too. Let's walk around the side of the car here. This was the first side. Our end. Second side. The other end in the roof. All right. So I'm kind of happy with the fade. This side looks a little bit more grimy than the other side. Let's give it a little bit of a wipe here. There we go. Clean that up a little bit. All right. Okay. Clean paper towel. So far, my hands aren't getting too bad, so. Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to our washes and grime. All right. I'm not going to do any rust effects on this car, but we are going to do some grime. So you got an orange here, and red and yellow make orange, and so you can kind of go either way with either, like I told you, on the red cars and anything darker like a Tuscan or a Boxcar brown. I like to use that brown for green vehicles for whatever reason. That gives a nice shade on red cars and brown cars. I'm going to guess that because of this orange, I'm going to try and go with the brown for yellow. So this is the brown wash for German dark yellow. All right, MIG product. We'll shake this up, and we're going to use this for our initial wash on the sides and the top of the car. Let's give it a little bit more. And we're going to dropper, use a little dropper to put some in the clean tray. Finally retired the one tray from last week, and we got a brand new clean tray here. You could just keep washing these out. They'd be all right. They really don't go bad, but I was lazy after last week, and I didn't feel like washing it out all the way, so I tossed it. So, all right, so let's see. Let's get a cleaner brush here. This one, or let's see. I'm going to go with this brush. So we're going to start. We're going to run across the top of the car. Give it a dip. Give it a dip. Wipe some of that off. I'm going to drag down random spots with the brush from that line that we did across the top there. Get some in the ladder there. Clean the brush off again. Really good. Dry it off. And go back and blend this in. And we're going to go from top to bottom. Now we're going to worry about, because this is going to represent our rain streaks, washing the dirt off the top of the car. So top to bottom. Let it build up good on these ribs here. And wipe the brush off again. Let's go back to a drier, wider brush. And really work that down there. And then we go from top to bottom. And let's get our sponge and just lightly, very lightly, because we don't want to take too much away, blend that in. Let's work over here. And you can see there's a nice little buildup of grime in those grooves right up there. Get into the ladder there. Get our little pointy sponge. Get in there with that. Mix it in a little bit. Some of the other areas that's hard to get into. Just clean that up a little bit. Okay. Let's give this a look. Anyway, let's get some of our pigments here. While this is still a little tacky, we're going to grab some of our pigment. Again, I have the Russian earth and the dark earth. This is the dark earth. This is the Russian earth. I have it in my tray here. And I like to dab a little bit of each. I'm going to go across the bottom and kick it up. Go across the bottom. And kick it up. And just draw a little bit up the side from the bottom like that. Go back with our sponge and just lighten it up a little bit. Especially over here, I got a little heavy here. Wipe some of this away. I'm going to go back and hit it a little bit more. There's a channel here that the door rides on. So it's all kind of building up in the channel. So I'm going to knock a little bit of that away. And go back one more time. Hit a little bit. There we go. That's better. That's lighter. Let's take a look. All right. Let's do the other side. Get our wash across the top there. Wipe it off. Some random strokes down. Wipe it off again. Really good. I got the same tendency, Paul. You know, I always like self-doubt that I'm not doing enough. And then I wind up going heavy sometimes, and I got to go back and wipe some away later on. What's nice about using the enamels as opposed to some of the acrylics is that the enamels, you can go back a couple of days later and hit it with the odorless thinner, and you can still wipe a bunch of it away. I guess the acrylic, you might be able to do it with alcohol, but I don't know. I've never tried it because I don't really use the acrylics. So let's wipe the brush off. Let's go back with the wider brush, make sure it's clean and dry, and really start working this down the car. A little bit out of that channel there. Yep. Let's go back with our sponge. Let's get a clean part of the sponge. Use that right there. And very lightly work that down the side of the car. Wipe a little bit away from the channel there. Let's get our little pointy brush, our little pointy sponge here. Get into the ladder. So I want to get a little too much built up on the door. I want to take a little bit off. So I'll go across the top part of each rib, take a little bit out. Awesome. All right. Let's go back with our pigments. I guess a little bit of each. Go across the bottom, kick a little bit of extra up on the ends there. All right, so we're going to kick some up from the bottom. Hit it with the sponge just a little bit. Just to lighten that up a little bit there. Clean off the IC a little bit. All right, what do you think? Just compare it to the other side. Okay, I think we're ready for the ends. Give our hands a wipe. Hey, Paul, how are you? Thanks for joining up. We are about 3/4 of the way through this car here, maybe more, maybe about 80% done. I got to give a little bit more wash into the tray here. So let's see, where is it? Okay, right here. Have you guys watched Paul's live the other night on Monday night? We did a live tutorial through the chat, walked him through doing his 2 engines there, fading them out and weathering them up. I think they came out pretty good. Okay, let's see. Let's get this brush here. Okay, we're doing the ends now, so I'm going to do both ends at the same time. I'll give a little bit of a wash across the top. Little streaks down like that. Go on the other side too. Doing it at the same time. Clean the brush off a little bit. And then work these down the side of the car, or down the end of the car there. Do the same thing on the other end. So even though I won't be on tomorrow night, I know Steve is going to be on tomorrow night, right, Steve? And he's gonna do double duty. He's going to be doing his buildings, and rumor has it maybe he might be doing a car too. I don't know, but I know he's definitely going to be doing his buildings. Turned a lot of friends on to Steve's live, and they're really digging his. They've told me they're really digging his diorama and his buildings that he's been working on. Really good stuff. In fact, I think it gets better each time we watch the live feed. Okay. So we put a little bit across the roof walk like this, on the side of the roof walk, and then I'm going to drag it to the side, to the roof. So it's going from the, if you ever notice, like most of the cars, they have like slight pitch in their roof in the middle. All right. And your water's going to hit the middle and it's going to drip down the edge here to the sides. So we're going to work that in like that. And while the brush is wet, we're going to put some wash into the metal grates, just like Chris was talking about. Right, let's go to the other side here. Same thing, let's get some wash on the brush. And then bring it down the side like this. From the middle out. Clean this brush off really good. We're going to go back and blend it in some more. We'll go back with that drier brush, and then we'll go back with a sponge. A little bit more in the roof walk there. Really going to wipe this down good here. Blend that in. The other side. Give this a wipe. A little bit more. Wipe the brush off. Let's go back with a clean sponge and blend that in. And kind of get the corner to get into these grooves. That's the one thing you're going to notice is that the brushes, you're going to see like some brush streaks. This is why we always go back with the sponge and blend it with a sponge. So it leaves the grime on the top there, but without the brush streaks. Go to the other side. Get the clean corner here. And work that in. A little bit along the roof walk there too. All right. Okay. As far as the grime and everything else goes, we just got to do a little bit with the Russian earth and the dark earth. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit across the bottom, and then a couple splashes up from the bottom. We always say you want to get the wheel splash that's coming from the car in front of this car when it's going down the track. And you want kind of like two streaks going up the side like that. We're just showing the splash. Go on the other side, do the same thing. Dip a little bit of each. Oops, I didn't get enough there. Couple streaks up the side. There you go, I like that. A little bit more on this side here. There you go. Now for the roof. I'm going to put some in the roof walk. Make it pop. And then just bring some of that just fall off to the side. Like that. Same thing on this side. Let's give it a little bit more. Been doing good all night. It's the first time I hit the camera tonight, I think. Knock some of that out in there. Go back with the sponge, just lightly running across the top there. We want to just knock some of that excess off the higher spots. So you kind of get a little bit of a highlight there. On the other side. And one side looks a little darker than the other. So let's just add a little bit more here. There we go. I want to go with the, let's see, this brush right here. I just want to work this into the roof walk a little bit. So you don't see it laying on the top. We want to see it kind of in the grooves. A little build up right there. All right, let's inspect the car. Let's see. What'd you say? Will the was as it dries. Lock the pigment down. Lock the pigment down? Yeah. So this is why you want to try to keep the car a little bit damp. You don't want it wet because then it turns the pigment into paint. But then you don't want it totally dry, otherwise the pigment won't adhere to the car. So you want it slightly damp. Okay. So one side of the car, one of the ends, the other side of the car, the other end, the roof. This end I think it looks a little too much. I'm going to just knock it down a little bit with a sponge. All right, that's better. Almost done. All right, one more time. We'll go around the car. One side, one end, the other side, the other end, and the roof. Awesome. All there's left to do is the trucks. I already have rusted wheels on here. I guess when I built the kit, I must have had a couple of wheel sets already that I had, that I might have demonstrated, but you can see they have the worn rust inside there. So I'm not going to have to do that. So we're just going to skip over that, but we are going to do the side frames. So let's give the side frames a shot here. Going to break out the cursed soil like we normally do. Is this a new bottle? This is an old bottle. Let's see. This is a new bottle. All right, let's shake this up a little bit. Okay. Put a dropper full of paint into one of our trays here. There you go. Close this back up. Let's get our small little brush here. We'll use this one to paint up the trucks. Stir that up a little bit. So we're going to hit it with this nice light tannish colors, cursed soil as a base paint, and then pigments will go on top of that. And the pigments are going to look dry and give it a textured look. No, too much there. It's going to take a little bit off. Okay, we're going to go back with our pigment brush. Get some pigment on the brush there and just dab it on top. You don't want to brush it on, we're going to just dab it on there. Do the other trick. Here we are going to hit it with a tiny bit of rust on the springs. Just a dab. Okay, wipe the brush off. Blow off the excess. Sorry about that. It's just a little excess on the side there. I want to get it off. Okay. The other side, same treatment. Let's get our little brush there. Get our cursed soil paint, our tan paint there. And like I said in the past, you can go and use any brown paint. I like to use this lighter color just because even though you don't notice it too much, it does show up a little bit behind the pigments. Oops, we got a little bit on the wheel, but that's all right. Same thing over here. Knock a little bit off. Cover this truck with the paint. Okay. Let's go back with our pigment brush. Pick up some pigment. And just drop it on top of there. Just dab it on. Knock the excess off. Give it a quick little breeze there. Like I said, maybe just a tiny bit of rust on the springs. Just a little dab. Little dab. Yeah, that's better. And here we go. Let's take a look around the car, see if there's anything we want to touch up. Like I just saw a little smudge there. I want to touch that up. You know, one side, one end. And again, looking at it, I want to touch it up a little bit. Not too heavy. The other side. The other end. And the roof. Okay. Looks like we had a question. Okay, so the question was, is the oil paints, that's an enamel paint, so it's not quite oil. The enamel paints are on the side of the truck, all right? And when you put the pigment on top of it, the pigment's going to soak into it. But because we didn't brush back and forth, all right, it didn't turn it into paint. So it's just kind of laying on top. All right, so it's kind of sticking to that paint. Then I knock it off, give it a quick blow like that, and it leaves behind that textured look that you kind of see on the trucks, right? So it doesn't look like smooth paint. It looks like it's like rough. It's been on there for a while, all right? As you can see here too, all right? This side too, you can see. All right. And I do not dull coat. I think Paul asked that. Let's see. No, because once the paint underneath the pigment dries, it's going to stay there. It's not going to really, even with handling, you're not going to really rub it off. I mean, if you're picking cars up and off, on and off the layout all the time, and I was doing that on my old layout. I had active staging, so to stage another train, I had to take cars off and put cars back on again. And I never saw any. I maybe saw a tiny bit on my fingers, but never saw fingerprints or smudges. So you don't have to. But again, like I said, if you do this at home and you want to try and dull coat, let me know how you make out, because I don't think it'll wash it away, but I'm not sure if it's going to react with everything else. It probably shouldn't, but like I said, I've never tried it, so I don't know. So I don't know. Paul, did you say you were going to dull coat your engines? Not Paul C, but Paul Stamp. I think after you did your engines, you were going to dull coat them. I don't know if you did or not, and how it came out, but so that's it, guys. This car looks like it's been out for a while. It's not that pretty orange anymore. It's kind of like a grimy orange, but I kind of like it. And again, this is some of my favorite cars are these Illinois Central cars. So let me know what you think. You talking about your car? Yeah. So, okay, so Paul, how did it work out? So to me, a flat coat. Let me see if I can get that back. I can't get that back. Hold on. So to me, a flat coat through the airbrush and Krylon matte clear both work good. All right, cool. All right, so there's the answer. I guess you could do it. Paul didn't seem to have any ill effects from it. Like I said, I have dull coat. I just don't use it. I could probably give it away to somebody if somebody wants it, but I have a couple of cans of dull coat. But like I said, I handle these cars, especially when I'm working on a layout, on and off the layout before, and it's never had a problem. So, all right, so we're going to call this one finished. Just give it a sit here underneath the camera. I think it looks good. Yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. I mean, like I said, I never had a chance to try it. I've never done it. I've never had a problem. But let's see, my stuff gets handled so much at Fremo, and I run the risk of greasy meat hands doing it. Don't want to risk it. Well, if you don't eat any meat before you touch them, then you won't have greasy meat hands. I'm only kidding. I know what you're talking about, all right? So, all right, anyway, so that's it, guys. And again, later on, if you want to dull coat your car, try it out. See what happens. Maybe one day I'll try it on a car that I'm not overly happy with or a car that I want to experiment with. But to me, this is done. I'm happy with it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the live on Friday night instead of a Saturday night. Isn't that, there's the risk. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you guys. You seem to enjoy what I do, and you always give me good compliments about the cars. I will take constructive criticism. If anybody sees something on a car that you don't think looks right, let me know. Because I'm still, believe it or not, learning. Even though I'm doing this all the time, I'm still kind of teaching myself. And I do watch videos during the week in between my live sessions, try to get some pointers from other people and see if there's something I can incorporate into my models. And I've learned some stuff. I still go back to the MIG channel because they're always coming out with new products and new stuff and new methods of doing stuff. And sometimes they just rehash an old method. So it's a great channel to check out, Ammo by MIG, or MIG Jimenez's channel. Just look it up on YouTube. They got about 10 years worth of videos up there that you can learn something. Yeah, I'm over 200 subscribers now. I am at 204. So I don't know if I should have had a party or something. Maybe I'll have a little party when that's 250. I don't know. I definitely have to celebrate at 1,000 because then after 1,000 I can get monetized. So, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I do get a lot of views during the week. People just stop on by, and I do put the shorts out with specific topics, and it seems to bring people to the channel. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me and coming on Friday night instead of Saturday night. I think I gave enough notice to let people know. Anybody who missed it, you definitely can always watch the replay. It'll happen. Yeah, I guess so. It will. Yeah. You can always watch the replay and catch this again if you wanted to. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being here, and I really, really appreciate you being here. Catch you next time. Next week should be on Saturday. If it's not, I'll let you know ahead of time. But as far as I know, next Saturday I have nothing going on. Fingers crossed. So it'll be 9 o'clock next Saturday. Catch you later, guys. Thanks you, and good night.